Happy Friday, everybody. Welcome to another session of Fun with Marge. We're going to do some really fun things tonight. The first will be this cute little candy treat box, and it has a cauldron and some really pretty ribbon and designer series paper with it. And in addition, we're going to make this cute 3x3 card and the envelope that goes with it. So I've kind of decorated that up a little bit as well. So to get started, the first thing that we'll do, the first thing that I want to do is to talk to you about sharing my video with your friends and family. It is really important that it gets shared, and so in order to do that, if you share the video and you say in the comment section that you have shared it, I will send you either the materials to make this cute little box or the materials to make the 3x3 card along with the envelope. So be sure and share the video. Let me know that you like it, and in the comments let me know that you did share it, okay? And then we'll see how that goes. And so then moving on, the supplies that you're going to need are listed here, and as before, I'll give you the product numbers for all of it. Now, I know that there are a lot of products and materials here. Please don't feel that you need to purchase them all. Use what you have. I do. And I'll show you that as we go through this video tutorial, is that the fun of stamping is in being creative with what you have. And so our practice is going to be that way. However, if you do see something you want, please, and you don't have a demonstrator, please, I would be more than happy to accommodate you and would love a chance to be your demonstrator. So we're going to start with the treat box, and you can see that the DSP is the designer series paper, which is this, and then Whisper White 3 scraps, and it tells you what for. Make sure that you take a picture of this so that you have your instructions, and then we'll set that aside and get started. The design series paper that we're going to be using is called Toil and Trouble, and it is so cute with these little witches, and like with everything else, there's a front and a back that's very usable. So in going through that, you'll see that we have little ghosts, and we have pumpkins and little broomsticks, and you get 2 sheets of each. You have the cauldrons, which can be cut in strips and used on those little boxes. So it's like you can have, if you can see that, the cauldron with the little lines below, or you can do the cauldron with a row of spiders above, or you can use the stripes and the spiders. So you can be very creative with that. And then on the back is the dots. Of course, you can't do Halloween without bats, and on the back of the bats are stars. And then this is the paper that we're using the back of. Actually, I love the little frogs. They're just so cute. And and as usual, on the back, it does tell you the colors of cardstock that goes with it. So you're never left to your own design to try and figure out what colors might match, because that gets a little difficult. So, and then we'll get started first with the treat box. And again, here are the measurements and how you score it. So we'll start with, I also wanted to show you these cute little treat boxes, because you will need those, okay? And they come in a package of 16, so you can make 16 of these boxes with all different types of designer series paper we call DSP for short, so you'll need to remember that one. You can imagine you can use these little treat boxes for gifts for friends and family that are coming over for a Halloween party, or you can have them for your favorite kids that come to the door, or your kids' classroom, or so many other things. These 3x3 note cards can be used as, I'm holding it the wrong way, sorry. They can be used as place settings for your Halloween dinner, or they can be used to attach to a bag, or they can be sent. Okay, so these treat bags, they come with the cellophane wrapping on it that you want to take off, okay, and throw away. And then you want to make sure that you take your bone folder and make your creases. So at the bottom of the box, what you want to do is you want to, let me push it back out so that I can show you. It's not going to do that, it's already together. You can see if you take those two short flaps and you put them in first, right? I don't know if you can see, but you see those two are in first, this one with the tab next, and then just naturally let that fall together. Your box is put together, okay? So the next thing that we want to do is to get our wrap together, and you remember it's scored at 2 1/8, 4 1/8, 6 1/8, and 8 1/8. It's 2 inches by 8 3/4 inches. So you want to make sure that you score that, that you burnish that, so it's easier to work with. You also want to take a look at the direction that your frogs are in, okay? So you want your frogs to be, you know, jumping in the right direction, so take a look at that. And I think I want it this way, okay? So the next step is in using a little tear and tape, and you can use the liquid glue if you like. I prefer the tear and tape for things like this. You want to put it right on the edge of the smallest of the 8 1/8 crease. Okay, so you'll notice that that is a really small one. Okay, then you want to take that off. Of course, I don't have my new tool sitting here next to me, so I won't waste your time in trying to find it. Pull that off, throw it away. That's another thing too, is, you know, you want to get used to having a trash can near you. Okay, so you want to make sure that you're at the back of the box, so the flap is that way, and then wrap it around your box and secure it. Oh, this is a little longer than it should be. Okay, and in that case, we can just snip that off with our scissors. Must have run that the wrong way in the paper cutter. Okay, so that's the outside of our box. Really easy, right? Okay, the next thing we want to do is to bring out our, move this out of the way, to bring out our Whisper White paper. It is Cauldron Bubble. This is a, this is a set with dies. This makes the most awesome spider web, but we're not doing that today. We're going to use the Cauldron, okay? And we're also going to use the Bubble Bubble Toil and Trouble, okay? Oh, I forgot we have to use the die to cut it out, okay? And we also are going to use the die for the little ghost. Okay, so the first thing that we want to do is to make our cauldron. Make sure you get it on your block nice and secure. The way I do this, the way mine keeps sticking and stay healthy and straight is that I take, when the stamps come, they come with this little backing to them. And I actually put the backing on my case, and it keeps stamps nice and straight, and it keeps them sticky. So that was a lesson that I learned there that I'm passing on to you. Okay? Now, what we want to do is use our Memento ink, or Tuxedo Black Memento ink, and stamp in a cauldron. Now, I don't know if you can see, but this has a fabric that the ink is dumped into, and because of that, you want to like twist it and then tap it. Okay, I'm just going to use the corner here, and there's my cauldron. Okay, I'm also going to want a ghost for this, which is the other stamp. So I'm going to go ahead and stamp that with the black ink as well. Okay, now you remember my cleanup is with the chamois. See, cleaned up really nicely. No residual black ink left behind, which is awesome. We'll cover that up. And now what I'm going to do is to show you just really quickly about blender pens. Blender pens come in light and dark of the same color. So this happens to be light granny apple green and dark granny apple green, which is what I've chosen to do my the top of my my little contents of the cauldron. In doing the cauldron with all this bubbly stuff, you want to make sure that you do it in small circles, which makes it really cool. You can also do this in colored pencils. You can do it in our write markers. You can do it in a lot of different mediums. You can use paint if you want to, but don't feel like that just because you don't have the blender pens you can't do this. That's not true. Okay, it also, the blender pens have a large end and a small end. I tend to usually use the large end unless it's a really, really small area. And then you kind of want to go around in the areas, just in the areas that will define your, looks like slime, doesn't it? Like that. So that's kind of how you do that. And so the colors that I used are in that, in the supplies instructions at the bottom. So it's a basic black, mango melody, cherry cobbler, granny apple green, highland heather, pumpkin pie, and wink of Stella. And that's what is used in both the treat box and the 3x3 card. Okay, so now we want to make our fire, and fire is kind of like different colors, right? And so what I used for the fire is the mango melody and the cherry cobbler. So I started with the light cherry cobbler, and I just want to do the bottom of this, right? Okay. And then I did the dark cherry cobbler. And I want to make that bring in these that are dark to make a bolder part of the fire. Okay, and then I want to take the light Mango Melody and the big side of that, and I want to do the top of the fire lightly first. And see, it's really not that complicated, and it really doesn't take a lot of time to do this. And then I want to follow right on top of it with the dark. And run it just a little bit in the red so that it spreads, see? And you don't have a line there, but it's, you spread a little bit of the red into the Mango Melody and even things out. Okay, now, you know, and we were talking about the things we do versus the things we don't have. And I do not yet have the black blender combo. And so what I chose to do with this is to use the Highland Heather light and dark. And so, and so I just, you know, go around here with this just real quick. And I'm gonna put 2 coats of light on. So I will fast forward through all of this. What you think? Okay, so now I'm gonna cut these 2 things out. You notice I haven't done anything with the ghost yet. Okay, so I'm gonna cut these out and I'll be right back. I took my Wink of Stella, and I just want the green to be shiny. Like that. And I want to be really careful about the ghost and make him shiny. I don't want to get too much in the black, because as you can see, it will smear. But I want just a little bit of shine to him and a little bit of off color. There it is. Okay, now we'll finish off our box. Okay, we want some dimensionals. Make sure you've got your lid towards you. We want some dimensionals on the cauldron, and I believe I put 4 on it. Pull those off. And stick it right in the center. Make sure your legs are at the bottom. Okay, see how cute that is. And then you want your little ghost, wherever you went, you want to put 1 dimensional on him. And he's actually coming out of the pot here. So you're going to place him kind of under, that way. Okay? So now what we want to do is the top of our box. And I realized that whenever I made this, I used a punch that actually is retired, and so I have to fix that. So in order to fix that, what I did was I used the stitched labels, which I wrote in here, and the product number. It comes with a number of stitched labels. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our sentiment, which I've decided is going to be Bubble Bubble Toil and Trouble this time. And we're going to use the Highland Heather, as it matches our Cauldron. Okay. Line that up in the center like this, and then we're going to cut it out in the has that nice little round to it. And so now what we're going to do is we're going to take some of our this is called a glittered organdy ribbon, and you can see all the glitter in the ribbon, and we're going to make a small bow. And we're also going to use one of my little famous paper pumpkin dots. I just absolutely adore. And we're going to put it on the back of the ribbon. Take it off the paper. Take off the paper, rather. And put it at the top of the Bubble Bubble Toil and Trouble. Okay, then we're going to get our dimensionals back out, turn it over. I think we need 3 in order to make it look nice. Pull that off and place it at the top. Make sure you've got your design facing you, and then place it at the top. Voila! And you can fill it with candy corn, with M&Ms, with, you know, whatever you like to put in there. Okay, so now we're going to move on to our 3x3 card, and I'll lay it out here so that we can see. It's really easy to do. Okay, so you're going to take 6 inches by 3 inches and score it at 3 inches. You're going to burnish that. Okay, you're going to take your frog paper, right, and you're going to line it up here, decide what direction you want your frogs in, and then you're going to use your snail to adhere it to the cardstock. Real easy so far, right? And it makes just such cute little place cards that your friends and family are just gonna love your designs for your Halloween dinner or party. Okay, then we're gonna take our this is our sheet of Whisper White that is 2 3/4 by, no, I'm sorry, 2.5 by 2.5, okay? And we're going to take the little witch, is what we're going to use for this one, okay? And the last time I used Granny Apple Green to outline it with, and you know, I think I'm going to do that again. I think I like it that way rather than using the Memento. Okay. So we want to ink that up real good, and we want to make sure we have some scrap paper, because you're not going to be able to use the entire witch for this. So let's put our scrap paper in here, and you're going to want your witch to be close to the top and in the center. Okay, isn't that pretty? Clean the stamp. Okay. So now we're going to color this, and you can see the colors that I've chosen to use. I've already shown. Okay, so now what we're going to do is take a, oh my God, little sponge, and we're going to go around the edge. Okay, now we want some dimensionals. I believe he used 5 on this one. So we want to make sure that we use our supplies as wisely as possible. So you saw me cut that out, and that's an awesome way to save your supplies, because you know those work just as well. So you center that, and that's the outside of your card. So then for the inside, you're going to take your 2 3/4 by 2 3/4, if I can find it here, right? And what we want to do with this, since we got the little froggy paper in our Cauldron bubble supply, we have a little frog and we have a trick or treat. Okay, so I'm going to take those. They fit really nice on these little small ones so that you can control it a little better. Pull back out the Granny Apple Green. Whoops. Ink it up. And you might want to try it on the side just to make sure you don't have too much ink on it. And just right there. Okay. And then we're going to clean that up. And we're going to put the trick or treat on here. We're going to do that in Memento Tuxedo Black. And I wanted it to come out like, you know, and stay in, instead of the frog going knee deep, he's going trick-or-treat like that. Okay. And then we're going to marry that piece to the inside of your card with snail adhesive. And I put a lot just because I want to make sure that it stays secure. So I don't want to worry about, you know, things coming apart. So, and you line that up, put it in, and there's your card. Now for your envelope, I wanted to put the little kitty cat. So I mean, you're really using the stamp set here. So I went the little kitty cat. And I also wanted to put the Bubble Bubble Toil and Trouble there as well. Hidden. Okay. So we'll do the little kitty cat first. And I want to do it in Memento Black. It's a black cat, but I, you know, if I tried to color it in black, it wouldn't turn out right. So I just left the image just like that. And then I wanted to do the Bubble Bubble Toil and Trouble in Highland Heather. And so we turn this around, we're going to put it on the flap. Ta-ta! And that's your card. Now, the other thing that you can do is you can add some other things to it. I decided to use the Share What You Love Artisan pearls, but Stampin' Up! Also sells some black rhinestones that you can put on here as well. Your choice. But I decided I like these, and so I just added 3 of them to it. So that's the beauty of making your own stuff, is that you can make it the way you like it. Okay, and it's done. Thank you. Have a great week. And we will see you next week on Fun with Marge, where we're going to be doing one more week of Halloween, maybe 2. I also wanted to show you these cute little bags that I made. Let me know if you'd like to see how they're made. Give me a comment and let me know. And if I don't hear from anyone, then I will do something different. So we will talk to you next week. Have a great one.